the news section, there's like a little do 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 do. Got to get those transitions in there. Make it
Shit.
sound visual.
Welcome to Gridiron Thunder, hosted by Thor and Dr. Otaku.
Welcome to Gridiron Football. Welcome to the second episode. Hopefully I sound a lot better. I got an official microphone. So hopefully that's a lot easier on everybody's ear holes, especially Kevin. He's doing a great job producing all of this stuff. But yes, it's your place to get all of the brand new news coming out. Today was a big day for roster cuts. I don't think we should dive too deep into that. I'll get into that later, but just talking about the season as a whole, Kevin, Dr. Otaku, Tiki Teka, he hasn't watched football in 10 years. I'm doing my best to catch up anybody who has to be in the know for football in 2025.
It hasn't been 10 years, bro. Damn. Cut me some slack. It's been like 4.
That's true. You did move Rush. I gotta give you that.
Yeah, so no, you got to catch me up. I don't know what happened during the roster cuts. All I did see was a bunch of bad playing during the preseason last week, so I'm assuming a lot of people got cut. But it was not as
So
entertaining as the week before.
yeah, just to touch on the roster cuts, it is a big deal every single year. There are a lot of people whose careers are made, whose careers are ended. The average NFL career only lasts for 2 years. A lot of people focus on the major stars. Tom Brady lasted for over 20 years. And that's not normal. The average NFL career lasts 2 years. All these people have families, they have lives, so my heart goes out to everybody who got cut. But on the flip side of it, I saw one headline today where it said 65 takeaways from the roster cut down day. And no, we don't need to know about the fifth string person who got cut, who's going to end up on the practice squad anyway. I don't think that's really valuable information. What it really means is that a lot of players are going to go to the waivers. Some teams who are stronger at certain positions, like the Eagles, they may have had defensive, undrafted rookies come into their defensive line, but they're not going to make the team because that's one of the strongest units in the NFL. So a team with a really weak defensive line is probably going to look at who the Eagles cut today, and they might add them to their practice squad or uh, maybe add them to the full roster. It's just kind of those situations. It's not going to be players who are completely going to be impact players. That's not really what you're going to see. Sometimes it does happen. That's a really cool story when it does happen. If it does, we'll definitely be talking about it on this podcast. So we don't need to talk about that right now. But it is a big day just for the 53-man roster finals. If you look at the depth chart, they are final for week 1. And that's really what you need to know.
Are there any big surprises, or is it going pretty much according to your predictions from before?
Pretty much the same. It's again, there are some frustrating situations where some teams will play players in that final preseason game. The Browns-Rams game this past weekend, for example, they started Dresser Wynn, who was their 4th quarterback on the roster. And, McVay doesn't like to play any of his starters. That's fine. He didn't play any of his second stringers, but he played his 4th and 3rd stringers. On cutdown day, they cut Dresser Wynn, and he played the entire 3rd preseason game. So hopefully he gets to go somewhere. But it's just like, why even have him out there if you're not really going to be evaluating that talent? Because that's what preseason is for, is to give the lesser known talent a chance to kind of prove themselves. And Dresser Wynn played fine. But I guess being a 4th stringer on the Rams just doesn't work out that way. So yeah, it's that level. It's like you're never gonna know Dresser Wynn's name unless you are deep in the weeds, and especially for somebody who is just trying to get an overview of the season, an overview of the news. That's not that's not gonna move the needle for you.
This is not a Rams podcast. I thought this was a Rams
Mhm.
podcast.
Well, should we talk about Shedeur Sanders real quick then?
Okay, so I watched a little bit of that game, and the Browns, they were looking good. But it wasn't because of because of Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah, just to, talk about that real quick, I was excited because they started Joe Flacco, they started Jerry Jeudy, who are starters. They're gonna be starting week 1. Okay, cool. This is actually what the Browns offense is going to look like. But on the flip side, they did look good because they were playing third stringers and fourth stringers because McVay won't start anybody. Um, and they were looking good. But the story that came out of that game is Shedeur Sanders. Um, do you know the stats? Have you looked them up at all?
I mean, besides the stuff we talked about with his college and everything, no, not. I mean, I don't know what NFL stats he really has right now.
No, it was just from this game. It made headlines because he had 6 attempts for passes. He completed 3, so 50%, not great. He had 14 yards in those 6 attempts. His longest pass was 7 yards. He averaged 2.3 yards, which is not good. That's a dump off pass, that's a screen pass, that's just they're not pushing the ball down the field with him. Some would interpret that as not trusting him as well. But he had 6 pass attempts. The headline came from the fact that he had 5 sacks.
Yeah. But did his head bounce like Gino
Like, Tua?
to a
No. Yeah, thank goodness. But, these were absolutely quarterback sacks, not all of them 100%, but a lot of people are pointing out that these were absolutely his fault because there was one that was a 24-yard sack.
my God.
Could you imagine if that happened in the regular season? 24 yards? I mean, yeah, it's like, what are you even gonna do? Even if that happens on first down, like, okay, so now it's 1st and 35. What are we doing? What play do you have for that? And I like Stefanski as the Browns head coach, but he's like, "Yeah, we're probably just gonna run it 2 more times and then punt the ball." So, it is what it is. This Shadeur's 24-yard sack.
Yeah, I have to see this.
Yeah, I mean, I still there's a part of me that thinks there's still something there where he could be a decent game manager without the true arm talent, but when you look at their official depth chart, it's Joe Flacco starting, which I think is the right choice, and then it's Dylan Gabriel, who was their 3rd round, quarterback draft pick, 2nd on the depth chart, and then Shedeur, either 3rd or 4th. I don't even really know where Deshaun is currently, but I think that's the right choice because Gabriel in the time that he was given, he looks good in preseason, so I would
Well, what
not
were
give
Gabriel's stats in comparison? Do you know?
I don't have it up in front of me, but again, Dylan Gabriel also had time throughout the entire preseason. And again, he didn't have these outliers of taking 24-yard sacks or having 5 sacks on 6 pass attempts. So,
Well, I mean, his O line completely fell apart like in 2 seconds. To be fair,
no,
he had no
no.
pocket. There's no pocket there. There's no pocket time. I mean,
All
come
right.
on.
So
So
for
unless he messed up the
comparison,
play call, and it was
for
supposed to be some sort of
comparison,
like run or screen, but like,
in the same game, Dylan Gabriel was 12 of 19, 129 yards and a touchdown, over 100-yard passer rating. So that's pretty good.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's enough to base everything. I'd give him a
Oh,
chance, but yeah, he's definitely not starting. But
yeah,
I don't
people
know.
are ready to throw the flag in on him, throw the towel in on him. Um, yeah, I honestly would be interested if he has a career resurgence at some point after. You got to think this situation's been humbling for him. Um, there was a situation with the number 1 overall pick QB who has looked good, Cam Ward. He's looked good in my opinion. Where they were playing or they were meeting up at a rookie, like a rookie night situation that they had, and Cam Ward wanted to do a jersey swap with Shedeur, and Shedeur said, "No, I'm not going to do that with you." Which again, Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Like, it's
Dude,
just there's
why
a
would he do
situation
that?
where Shedeur is just he thinks he's too big, and I mean, it is also a product of the way that he was brought up. I mean, his father's prime time, how you wouldn't expect anything less from that kind of attitude. So having an entourage and having the draft night party that was memed into oblivion just because he fell to the 5th round. So
Oh my god. Well, listen, karma be like that, but also people need to calm down a bit because it's too early to tell.
it is.
That's not how data works. You can't base everything off 6 plays. Like that's not how you actually study data and
Could be fun.
understand it.
Could be fun though. You know.
These people they're just way too they're too like addicted to gambling. They're trying to like get ready for the next hit.
Yeah. Um,
But no, I mean, Joe Flacco's not going to stay healthy all year. So
he
Shedeur is
could.
going to come into play. He's
He
not.
could. He could.
I put my he's not. He's not. But that's okay. Like he's gonna serve his team well early season, put them on the right footing, give them confidence. And so when they have to start relying on Gabriel and maybe mix in Shedeur just for rest and stuff like that, like and then whatever little injuries come up, like he'll have his moment.
If
But yeah,
their year goes the way that a lot of people think it's going to go, which is, probably a top 5 pick, I could see them just throwing in Gabriel at the end of the year. And then if it's still going bad, I could absolutely see like gadget play formations where they're using Shador at some points. They're using Gabriel the majority of the time, but then they run read options with Shador. It'll be funky at the end of the year. But if their year's not having any juice at all, that will give it some juice. So could be interesting. All right. So I wanted to get that out of the way. That was technically a Rams game. Don't want to talk about the Rams really. Um, that was not the
sure.
biggest football news. Football in quotations. This news happened, what was it, yesterday? Did you hear about any big football news in pop culture?
No, I've been disconnected from pop culture. I've been in my own world recently.
Oh,
Um,
there's this pop star who's pretty famous, decently famous. She's dating a uh tight end from the Kansas City
oh my
Chiefs. You know
god.
about
Are we
this.
gonna talk about Taylor Swift right now? What happened? Did they break up?
They got engaged.
Oh, well, I thought they were. All right. Well, good on them, rich people.
We
Why were
have
you
to talk
worried about
about it.
getting married?
We have to talk about it. There were rumors that he was going to propose to her after the Super Bowl.
I did hear that.
My Yeah, I have a cousin who is just obsessed. I mean, she saw this post that they were engaged, and she created her own post like, "Nobody talk to me unless it's about this." Um, there are some vibes where I'm like, "Is this, like, gonna be a royal wedding?" Like, it's too big for its own good.
Well, how long were they together? How come they're not already married? I thought they were together forever.
It's only been a couple years.
Oh my god.
It really hasn't been that long.
All right. For
Uh,
for all the ladies listening to this podcast, I know that's majority of our listeners. Men know when they want to marry you, like after like 2-3 months of dating, bro. So don't let them hold you on the line for that long. That's a classic footballer move.
or it could take longer, you know?
No,
Um,
no excuse. What are
I
you
love it.
afraid of? What are you afraid of, Kelsey? She's gonna take all your money, dog. Like, come on, get the hell out of here.
She is very wealthy. She is very wealthy. That actually brings me to one of the next news items. I felt good about this because during our season overview for each team, we were talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I spent a decent amount of time talking about one of my favorite players in the league right now, Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Baltimore Ravens. He's just fun to watch. He has that unique skill set. They play him all over the field. He's able to come up and hit you. He can also be a ball hawk. Well, he signed a $100 million contract, which makes him the highest paid safety in the league and in league history. So,
I was about to say in
well,
history, dude.
yeah, and it's very well deserved. But it's always I didn't know he was up for a contract. I mean, it's coming to that time from his rookie contract, so um, very well deserved. But it kind of, boosted my confidence. Like, yep, I saw it. He deserves it. I drafted him in a IDP league, a fantasy league, which is a defensive position, and he was my number one pick for defensive player. So that also makes me feel good. Respect to him. Yeah, just a 24-year-old kid, $100 million. Could you imagine?
24. Oh my God, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, he's got a
Someone
long
put him
career.
under. Someone put her under watch. Going back to my point last last week, dude. That's too much. He's gonna get in trouble with that shit.
He's been good. He's been good so far. No issues like that. Plus, you got Harbaugh as the coach. That's a pretty tight run ship over there. So good on Kyle. Get your money, man. Get your bag.
My God. Well, doesn't that hurt the team though? It doesn't hurt the Ravens in the long run when you overpay such like just one player
Well,
like that.
so they're paying Lamar. They're paying Kyle Hamilton now, but their roster's just so deep throughout. And basically, when you have these teams who have the Joe Burrows, who have the Patrick Mahomes, who have the Lamar Jacksons, it's it's just a different type of team building. Really, what you want to do is you want to win a Super Bowl when you have that generational quarterback on a rookie contract. Because once the quarterbacks get off that rookie contract, you have Patrick Mahomes making $500 million on his 10-year contract. So you have to build your team around that, which means you can't sign, crazy talent over and over and over again. And you have to hit when you pay, when you actually pay these people. Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers, he recently got paid, and they've had Brock Purdy on a rookie contract, which is easily the cheapest rookie contract that you can have because he was literally Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. So he's been on that rookie contract, and they were able to pay some of their other stars, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Then they paid Brandon Ayuk. However, Brandon Ayuk immediately got hurt. He wasn't looking like himself. So you have this top paid wide receiver who's making, Justin Jefferson money, or Amon Ra, same money, but nowhere near that talent level. So that's really what hurts your team compared to the stars who are getting paid. It's making the contract decisions where they don't pan out, or you're immediately getting hurt by that player like that year. That's what'll completely sink your team. It's fine to have these stars that are taking up gigantic percentages of your entire total cap space, but what it really comes down to is making sure that when you do pay other stars besides the quarterback, that you have to hit. You really have to hit on them, because then you run into issues where, oh, that player didn't work out. Now we still have 30 million guaranteed over the next 2 years, but this person doesn't deserve a spot on the roster. And then you get them getting traded to different teams, and then those trades are completely lopsided just because the team who paid the person has to give up draft capital so that the other team can take on the contract. It can turn into a disaster very quickly.
Eek. Well, hopefully it goes well for the Ravens. I think they're going to do really good this year
Like,
in general.
he
But
deserves it. Yeah. There's
yeah,
nothing in Kyle Hamilton's career that would point to this being a bad choice. This is a good choice. Yeah, good decision.
speaking of decisions, I
Mhm.
heard there were some starting lineup decisions around the roster. Whoa. Uh, sorry, distracted. But the Saints,
Oh, that's on my list. That is on my list. So
your
Spencer
list is
Rattler.
hilarious, by the way. Saunders does suck? Question mark.
Oh, does he? Does he? No, Spencer Rattler was named the starting Saints QB. This is actually kind of a shock. Maybe some people thought it, but we saw Spencer Rattler last year. He was a rookie last year. And I don't think he's not many people at all think that he is going to be a quarterback long term. This is kind of a similar situation to the Browns, where if their season is going the way that a lot of people think it's going to go, we're going to see Tyler Shuck. Um, before Halloween. That's always a good bar. Before Halloween, before Thanksgiving, these are kind of benchmarks throughout the season where we're probably going to see Tyler Suggs sooner rather than later, unless Spencer Rattler shocks people. Because again, we have seen him play, and it's just, I think he would be a decent backup. He would be a decent backup option, but he was a fifth round QB pick last year. He never really had that top tier talent. Um, so yeah, it's just we'll see. We'll see what we're going with. If you see it online, people probably call him a tank commander. So
Hey, in my
you're
book,
out.
in my book, that's a compliment. Uh, Tanks are the best, man. But I mean, I know the Saints overall aren't going to have the best season. I know they're kind of falling into obscurity recently. So I don't know. This could just be a ploy to set them up to be like relatively healthy, get a high draft pick.
Yeah. Yeah, the Saints have been in a tough situation because they somehow built a roster. Actually, this feeds into the conversation I was just having. They somehow built a roster that was one of the highest paid rosters in the NFL, and they were continually terrible. Continually terrible. So you would see these like over the cap numbers because a lot of teams each year they end up over the cap for the next year, for the following year, and then they have to do a lot of like contracts renegotiations and take some of the money this year and put it into next year. And that's what the Saints kind of fell into a situation to do, to basically say, oh, we are 40 million over the cap. We're going to renegotiate all these contracts that we have so that next year we're 40 million over the cap. And for like the last 5 years, you see them at the top of these like highest paid rosters, and they just haven't been competitive. Especially in the division where even the Panthers have more hope around them than the Saints this year. So, um, yeah, it's not looking good. Spencer Rattler last year, he played 7 games, which is a decent sample size. He completed 57% of his passes. He had 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 7 games. A QBR
Yeah.
rating of 40, which is lower than what Shedeur had in this recent preseason game. So
Shedeur's data doesn't count yet. I don't, but yeah,
I'm
no,
just
that's
saying people are memeing that performance, and over a 7-game period, he played worse than that. So
eek. Well,
yeah,
again, it's hard when when your team as a whole is not doing too good.
yeah, it just
But
you
let's
would
move
like to
on.
see. Yeah,
Yeah, but let's move on to the Chiefs wide receiver.
Rashee Rice. So Rashee Rice, when he has been on the field, when he has been playing, he is a legit number one receiver. He makes the Chiefs offense really exciting to watch. When he has missed time, you can tell that the Chiefs offense misses that because they've been missing offensive weapons. Rashee Rice was facing suspension due to personal conduct policies, issues with the NFL. He pled guilty in district courts to third-degree felony charges. Uh, it was a collision involving serious bodily injury, racing on a highway, that kind of situation.
My
Um,
God.
yeah, there was a number being floated where the NFL was pushing for 10 games, but they recently proposed a 6-game suspension, and Rashee accepted that. So he will be gone for the first 6 weeks of the season. If you are a fantasy football player, I don't know if I would touch him. Maybe if you get him late in the draft, where he's a bench player, and then you can put him in for the final half of the season, that'd be the perfect scenario. But a lot of drafts that I've seen are still taking him as a starter or a flex option, which I don't think is worth it when you're missing 6 games of production.
So wait, fantasy drafts haven't happened yet. When does fantasy season start? Exactly.
I've had drafts basically every single week for the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Yeah. My
Because you're in multiple
final
leagues or
is,
what?
yeah, because I'm in multiple leagues. Uh, my final fantasy draft is this Friday, and it's my longest running league. It's the one I care the most about. We always do it the weekend before week 1 games. So I know there are people who do it right up until week 1 kicks off. Some people are sickos and they do it like right after the Super Bowl, which is just crazy. Um, but yeah, just it's fun, man. It's a great time.
Yeah, no, I've never really done fantasy football, but I enjoyed watching the league back in the day. That was a really fun show.
I gotta
It made me
rewatch that.
enjoy.
That's on my list. It's
Yeah,
been a
no,
while since I've watched it.
it's a good. It's good.
It is.
Did you want to take a moment to plug your side show, your spin-off series?
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably will see random ZSN updates because the league that I was just talking about, it's called Zaddy Daycare, and I'm going to have a small news show every single week where it's just 3 to 5 minutes of the top storylines from my fantasy football league. As the commissioner, I'm just going to be doing that just as a fun side project. Um, Enjoy it if you want to, but it is just a fun side project for all of my league mates to just kind of shit on each other with. So it's a good trash talking material.
Good, good. But before we move on, besides fantasy tips, I guess for the next 6 games in regular season, from like parlays and
Sure.
gambling perspective,
Sure.
and we could talk about
So,
it more as we go if you want. But should we put the Chiefs on a potential upset list, because they're always going to be favored really well, but this might be one of
well,
those key things that puts them
yeah,
maybe as a not a choice.
we'll talk about week one next week more in depth and kind of the key matchups. But I was looking at an early pick 'em for week one, and the Chiefs are playing the Chargers. I hit the Chargers very, very quickly.
Really,
And
just
I
because of
not just
Rice.
because of him, but I just think it takes a toll on teams. You may have heard of like Super Bowl slumps, but
Yeah,
the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, and then they went back the next year, and then they went back the next year. So when you think of the team as a whole, which oh, the, there's definitely a big chunk of the roster who didn't go through those 3 full years. However, a lot of the starters did. So when you look at that and you look at the head coach going through all that preparation, and then especially with the heartbreak of losing this most recent one, you have put in basically an entire extra season compared to other teams.
yeah.
You know, playing 4 games one year, playing 4 more games the next year, playing 4 more games the next year. And that takes a toll. It is an anomaly. It is an outlier that they even went back to the Super Bowl. Going back to back is insane. It's basically unheard of. Going 3 back to back to back is even more so. And I really do think it's just going to be that fatigue overall. I don't think they're going to be bad by any means. Their defense is still going to be really good. Patrick Mahomes is going to keep them in any close game. They have a they have some weapons on offense, but I think that's really where it's lacking. I don't really trust Isaiah Pacheco at the running back position. I like Xavier Worthy, but he's not Tyreek Hill, who they've been trying to replace ever since they sent him to the Dolphins. Um, so it's just going to be that lack of firepower. I think it's going to be really grindy games, similar to kind of what the type of style that the Steelers have had the last few years. And I think especially if they get into a shootout, I think they're going to have a hard time. And again, just to back that up, I still think they're going to win 10 games. Like I don't think they're going to be bad by any means. But I just think, this is potentially the year for like the Broncos who look good, the Chargers who look really good to kind of fill in that slight gap that the Chiefs are leaving open. Um, Especially with Rashee Rice, their top weapon, missing the first 6 games. So
Damn. Well, yeah, that's definitely going to affect my my gambling choices next week, but we'll get there. Uh, so what's going on with the 49ers? I see them on the list.
so the next couple items are just camp reports that I've been hearing from beat reporters. Who are at training camps. Just a couple things from the NFC West. Ricky Pearsall, he was a rookie last year for the 49ers. He's looking like the 49ers wide receiver 1, which I was just talking about Brandon Ayuk. He's supposed to be the 49ers number 1. Juwan Jennings is supposed to be right up there as well, but he is in contract negotiations. Um, Ricky Pearsall, basically the reports that are coming out is the 49ers offense looks like it's running through Christian McCaffrey, it's running through George Kittle, and it's running through Ricky Pearsall, which would be massive. I immediately heard that news and tried to go pick him up in any fantasy league that I could or try to trade for him, most likely because he's probably already on teams. But being in that 49ers offense with Kyle Shanahan, if you are the top option, you're going to get production numbers. Plus, he just looks like he has that talent, and exactly what, Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan are looking to do in that offense. So I wanted to touch on that. And then one other interesting story, I know it's Rams, but basically, I'll be
Gotcha.
quick. Gotcha. Basically, this Rams team, one observation is that it is a team this year that is built around McVay's fears. So basically, he's worried about Stafford getting hurt. So he has Jimmy Garoppolo, who's arguably one of the best backups in the league. He's worried about Kyron Williams getting hurt, which these situations have happened back in 2022 when they only won 5 games, and that was the low point in McVay's career. So they're worried about Kyron getting hurt. They're starting running back. They have 2 potential backup running backs who could fill in. Uh, he's worried about the run defense. The reports coming out are that this is the best run defense that the Rams have ever had, with Poona Ford, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk. And that's big talk because they've had Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh on the same defensive line. And it's a very interesting thing to hear where it's like, you never want to play safe in the NFL, but it is interesting, an interesting way of team building where he's seeing all these deficiencies in the roster and kind of trying to make contingency plans because if Stafford's hurt, if a starting QB is hurt for any team, a lot of fans just throw in the towel. But we were talking about it last week, like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if McVay actually won with Jimmy G? So just wanted to
Yeah, I
touch on
mean,
that.
I know that it's a big deal, but I mean, I feel like the Rams probably have a better situation than most teams. The only other team that has a better quarterback situation right now is probably the Browns because they have like young quarterbacks in the back. I know everyone's like, "Oh, they all suck," but it's like, listen, they're really young, so that's good. That's good for your team. Because even
Sure, I
Garoppolo,
guess you could. I
because
guess you
even
could
because
look
even
at it that way.
Garoppolo is kind of a risk because of his age, but
He also has injury history.
yeah.
I will not back you up on the Browns QB situation. It's one of the most embarrassing in the league.
It's dramatic, but it's not like actually. Again, people, it's politics. Listen, because I'm not dialed into this NFL, drama. So to me, it's just politics.
uh
Like you want to have a bunch of young QBs on the roster with like one old guy leading the charge. Like the Browns are doing it
that
right.
is that is what it is. They got a 40-year-old led by followed up by a third rounder and a fifth rounder. So
It'd be worse.
let's jump down to Trey Hendrickson finally got paid.
Yeah, we talked
Trey
about that
Hendrickson.
pretty.
We did. So we basically, when there's a star of this caliber, I try not to pay attention to it at all. Terry McLaurin is another one who was in contract negotiations, and Micah Parsons is still in contract negotiations. That one's
Oh
getting a
my
little
God,
spicy just
Get your
because
shit
we
together.
both into week 1. Um, but with the Bengals, we talked about it. This was just a mishandling of the situation. He does get a $14 million raise this year, which again, he deserves. But it's just, he's already had interviews where this deal was never brought up on the table before. And it is just for 1 year. He was looking for something long term. Again, he's their best defensive player on a defense that is arguably one of the worst in the league. So why wouldn't you just pay this defensive player? Um, so they paid him for this year, hopefully to keep him happy for this year. And again, in the interviews, um, he already seems like this is not satisfying to him at all. And plus, he's eligible to become an unrestricted free agent after the season, which, with the way this has been handled, why would he stay with Cincinnati, right? Um, yeah.
Well, at least they're gonna keep him for now. But yeah, I don't know, man. That team's a mess.
He's one of 5 players to have 17 plus sacks in back-to-back seasons since 1982. Only 5
My
players have done
God,
that. Yeah, pay your guys.
these fools.
When you have a guy, pay him. There's a term in the NFL that you might hear every now and then called a JAG, which is a JAG, just a guy. Um, just a guy, they can be roster cloggers. They could get paid like Daniel Jones, he's a JAG, but the Giants decided to give him a bunch of money, which led to them having to not sign, which led to them making the choice to not sign Saquon Barkley, which was extremely detrimental and extremely successful for the Eagles. Don't pay Jags, pay guys. Trey Hendrickson is a guy. All right. Same with Terry McLaurin, which again, hearing the news of like, oh, Terry McLaurin, what if he gets traded? What if he leaves the Commanders? Like, no, he's one of the most important pieces. Um, they finally paid him. It's one of those stories where it's like, oh, I don't really need to pay attention to this. Um, yeah, he's signed a $96 million deal, 32 million. Um, that puts him right up there with some of the highest paid receivers in the league, which is what he should be. He went through quarterback hell for a lot of years with Washington, and now that they finally have Jaden Daniels, who is supposed to be that next generational talent, like yes, again, pay your guy, pay your guy, Terry
Jaden.
McLaurin, Terry, he's the guy.
Yeah, so Jaden was the one on the Chicago Bears that not a leader of men, right? That you're talking about. People complaining about him, right?
So Jaden Daniels plays for the Washington Commanders. The
Oh, sorry.
pick over him is Caleb Williams, where, some people were saying not a leader of men because of things like him crying on the sideline during USC games and then painting his nails. That's Caleb
Yeah.
Williams from the Chicago Bears.
He's just on that FIFA lifestyle because when you look at FIFA soccer players and stuff, they do that kind of stuff all the time, man. They got like the
Do
crazy
that.
jewelry, they got painted nail. Oh yeah, man. They're like
Oh,
the
crazy jewelry
Europeans.
is from the
The
NFL.
well, no, but they do it. I don't know. They're not doing like big chains. They're doing like kind of like dermals and like like more like
Oh, yeah.
off-fem type stuff. But that's more common in FIFA, like the European styles and everything. So I think these football players are like tuned into that
Mhm.
because those FIFA people get a lot of money just for their brand and everything. So I think they're just trying to the young guys are picking up on that. I'm wearing soccer pants right now, so that's how I'm ready for an NFL podcast. Um, but I think I don't know. I'm so freaking tired of waiting for the regular season to start. I'm getting impatient.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting ever since they got rid of that 4th preseason game. We don't really have games to look forward to this week. However, when we did have that 4th week, it was basically that roster cut down roster, that we were looking at, like the Justin Wins of the world, people that will not be playing, but still kind of fun, just to have on in the background. And football is football. We've been fiending for months and months and months. So give me as much
Yeah,
as
that is true.
possible.
So why aren't they signing Micah Parsons, the Cowboys? What other slew of bad decisions are they doing right now?
Jerry. Yeah, who knows what Jerry
Dude,
Jones.
How is he still going, man?
Well, he won Super Bowls. That's why. And
Yeah,
he's
when that like before I was born, dude.
was it really before you were born?
When was our last Super Bowl win?
Oh, 1993.
Yeah,
That's when I
literally
was
before I was born. Yeah, you're a little older than me.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, so no, he doesn't win Super Bowls, bro. Whoever he was paying back then over 30 years ago, that's who was winning the Super Bowls, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the update for Micah Parsons is there's no update. I'm holding out hope as a Rams fan that Aaron Donald tweet or Instagram post or whatever, like, "Hey, I'll come out of retirement if you join the Rams." I'm smoking that opium, but again, this shouldn't be a story. Micah Parsons is one of the faces of the Cowboys franchise. Him, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Sign your guys. He's a dude. He's not a jag. All right, pay Micah Parsons, make him the highest paid edge rusher in the league. Like, he deserves it. Um, he was getting some comparisons rookie year to like Lawrence Taylor, which is outrageous, but based off the way he's played throughout his career, he is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He's very young still. He's in his prime. Pay the guy. All of the recent headlines are, Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach, is like, he's going to need to ramp up. We're going to get this taken care of. Brian Schottenheimer said he even had an hour-long conversation with Micah and that he feels good about the situation. Really? An hour? Um, Dak Prescott was asked about it. He says he's not losing sleep over the Parsons Cowboys saga. It's a saga now. That's never good. It's what we call a distraction. But yeah, it's basically a non-update update for Micah Parsons right now.
I swear to God, Cowboys. I will stop supporting the Cowboys this year if they let that slip.
Do it.
It's already hard enough. It's already hard enough with Dak. Everybody's thinking Dak top 5 QB in the league or whatever.
Dakota could be a top 5 QB, man. Come on.
Dak Prescott? Dude,
He's
Dak
very
Prescott
good.
he's a Ponzi scheme. He knows how to play the stats to get people happy in fantasy leagues and stuff.
Cowboys fan, that Dak Prescott's good. What is happening?
Because I want a real quarterback like Shedeur Sanders or something,
I mean, hey, don't we all want a Shedeur on our team?
I like the drama. It's fun. It makes the games exciting. During commercials, you can talk shit. So after Micah, I hear we have some Raiders news, which is always good. I'm trying to learn to love the Raiders.
So Jacoby Myers is their number 1 receiver. They should try and make Jacoby happy because, again, he's an integral part of their team. He wants out. He's requested a trade. Again, I don't pay much attention to this story because they need him in that offense if they're going to achieve what Pete Carroll wants to do. And he's not at the same level as like Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, but he is decent. He's not a dude, but he's also not a Jag. He's kind of in that middle area where pay him a decent amount. Don't break the bank for him. If he is asking for them to break the bank, then yeah, it may be time to let him walk. But they need him. And a lot of teams would be very happy to have Jacoby Myers maybe as their 1. There wouldn't be that many opportunities, I don't think. But if you have Jacoby Myers as your 2, that's a really, really good wide receiver 2. So with that in mind, they brought back Amari Cooper, who was not on a team. He played for the Buffalo Bills last season. Didn't really look like he was his old self. He's been in the league for quite a while. But what makes this kind of a cool story, especially for Raiders fans, is Amari Cooper was drafted by the Raiders. So he's coming back home. And he was great back when he was drafted. He was drafted in 2015. It's been a decade that he's been in the league. A really, really good receiver throughout his career, but the last couple of seasons he's been bouncing around. He looks washed. Some people are saying, oh, Jacoby's out, Amari's in. This is great for us. And it's like, no, Amari is a depth piece. Jacoby would absolutely still be their number 1 receiver. And I think that one of their rookies, Jack Besh, is still probably going to be their number 2 receiver, even with a fully healthy Amari Cooper. So
I remember Amari Cooper, actually, because it's been 10 years since I've watched football. So that aligns perfectly.
Nice round number, right?
All right, what else is happening in the... Oh, no. Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of Joe Mixon. But it is important to point out that he was placed on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, which means he's going to be out at minimum the first 4 weeks of the season. So immediately that Texans running back room is not looking very good. They have Nick Chubb, which, you know what? I don't know if we talked about this in the season preview episode, but do you know who Nick Chubb is?
I think we talked about it a little bit. It sounds familiar.
Basically, he was an excellent, excellent, excellent running back for the Cleveland Browns. He was arguably top 2 or 3 running backs in the entire NFL. People are drafting him, 5th overall in their fantasy drafts. And then he just suffered a gruesome, gruesome leg injury, where the lower half of the leg is pointing a different direction. He came back a little bit last year and didn't not look himself, but he is technically the number 2 running back on the Houston Texans depth chart behind Joe Mixon right now. So that is definitely going to be one of the main things people are watching. Yeah, I mean, with Joe Mixon out, he's their starting running back right now.
It's all on
With
you, Chubb.
with Damian Pierce right behind them. The Texans really, really excelled when Joe Mixon was having success in the running game last year. We'll see what they do. And again, I was just talking about the Rams run defense. That is the week 1 matchup. It's Texans versus Rams, Texans at Rams. So is that run defense really going to show out and ball out that game because they don't really have a star running back who can take advantages of lanes? Maybe Nick Chubb still has juice left. That would definitely be one of the better comeback player of the year nominees, in my opinion. If he does come back and he is successful, it's just I don't see it, and especially
Well, have
that
we seen him play this year at all? Any preseason games? Was he making moves?
this year. That's a good question, actually. Let me pull it up real quick.
Because he might have just needed an extra season to heal from that injury.
I
Honestly,
mean, this is what I was thinking of. He did play, but it was like he had 5 carries. He had
so
5 carries for
light
25
work.
yards. That's great. 5-yard average is great. But it's 5 carries. We can't really, very much like Shedeur, we can't judge anything off that.
Yeah, that is true. Well, that sucks. I Mixon actually also remember from like some Madden days a couple years
Yeah,
ago
they're
with
both
my
they're both
brother.
teamed up there actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just kind of finish off the news that's going on in the league. Kenny Pickett signed with the Raiders for a 5th-round pick. Kenny Pickett has already had such an interesting career. He was drafted 21st overall out of Pitt to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got the hometown kid. Everybody was excited. Immediately, immediately they got rid of him within a year.
Oh my god.
And then he has been a backup bouncing around the league. He was most recently with the um, Eagles. He won a Super Bowl champion, Kenny Pickett. Put some respect on his name. Um, but he
I
just
love that.
got sent off to the Raiders for a 5th-round pick. Just what a few years for Kenny Pickett. I mean, the guy has to be 23 or 24 at this point.
Hey man,
I was a
that's
Kenny
what
Pickett
that's
believer.
what
He's
that's what
27
success looks
already.
like.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That is what success looks like. Speaking of great football shows, gosh, what was the college football show?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's on tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
Blue
but
something.
basically Blue
Blue.
Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Harvest. I almost said Blue Harvest.
Hey, I'm drinking Blue Moon right now. Anyways, the
Hey,
entire premise of that show centered around the backup quarterback and how he just loved being the backup quarterback. He was like, it's the
I
best job in
loved
sports.
Blue Mountain State. I'm pretty sure it was called or something like that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Make it's gonna bother me. Blue Mountain State. But there's people
yeah, that
listening
from the
who are like,
dome.
it's Blue Mountain State.
That show was amazing, dude. I was so sad when it ended. I watched all of it. I watched every single episode, which is really rare for a show for me. I usually give up on shows,
Good.
but I loved that show. It was so
It was
amazing.
it was it was grotesque in all the right ways.
It just knew it had football right. Like it nailed football, like the way it plays out and stuff, like so well.
Yeah. That was great. And then I just wanted to touch on 2 people who are still out there who always come in as late year signings and always make an impact. It's Jadeveon Clowney. It's Za'Darius Smith. If your team needs defensive line help, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they sign one of these guys or both of these guys. I think there's some rumors flying around right now that the Lions could use some defensive line help. And I mean, Clowney and Za'Darius, they're veterans.
I know Clowney. Clowney's really good. He's not on any team right now.
So Clowney's been a bag merchant. And by that, I mean, he's just been signing 1-year deals, and then he waits in the off season to just sign with a team who wants him after training camp, so he doesn't have to go through all that. And then he just comes in, does what he does, and then the next year he waits for another team who wants him.
Wow, what a boss! He's like a consultant.
He was like the undisputed #1 overall draft pick. He was supposed to be the next like Lawrence Taylor type coming out of college. Never hit that high of marks, but he's been good. He's been good. Very, very solid career. All
All
right.
right, any other top news updates?
News wrap up.
We hope you're enjoying Gridiron Thunder. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment.
For this next section, season awards. A lot of people really enjoy this. It is something that always comes up. For the ESPYs every year, Shane Gillis was hosting. People get excited for this. There's a few of the big ones. I think it would be really fun to just go through each of them. We both pick them. The division winners for each division, the Super Bowl, the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, and the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And the great thing about football is nobody knows what they're talking about. Nobody does. So even though you haven't watched football in 10 years, I don't doubt in my mind that you will get more of these right than me, even though I'm spending all my time just learning everything about the 53-man roster cuts.
Oh my god. Well, I'll let you go first.
All right,
where's our awards?
Let's start with the division winners. Let's go division by division. And let's
I feel
just
confident
start
with this.
with the let's just
AFC?
go with AFC or NFC. Let's start with AFC. Let's start with AFC East. We've got the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, the New England Patriots. You're going to be first pick?
No, I'm going to take this one. So, just spoiler alert, I am going to choose the Dolphins as Super Bowl winners. However, I am going to say that the Bills are division winners.
That's an easy pick right there. They better. They better win that division. If they don't, their head coach is gone. He gone. Even if they
he's been in
have
hot water, like you were telling me.
It's been an interesting hot water. It's like a warm bath that he's been in. A lot of Bills fans will tell you of their frustrations with him. However, any franchise that hasn't been even close to their success level for the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they would be ecstatic with the Bills head coach. So it's a double-edged sword. They're doing great, but they are running into Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs over and over and over again. So can't really fault them too much. I'm also
but this might be
Bills.
their year, like we talked about. This might be the year where they bust through.
I gotta organize this a little bit. AFC East, Kevin chooses the Bills. And I also choose the Bills. Because why wouldn't I? That'd be insane. The AFC North. We've
AFC
got
North.
the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Browns.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say the Browns. They're going to have a better season than you expect.
No, for real though. Like, what's your pick?
No, I'm going Browns. I always root for the Browns, man. I can't help it. They're always the team I would pick when I played Madden.
I'm putting it in.
And
We're gonna tally these. We're gonna tally these up, just so you know.
At the end of the regular season?
At the end of the regular season, we're gonna see who wins. Do you want to stay with the Browns?
What's the price?
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Figure it out.
No, I'm sticking with the Browns.
All right.
Sticking with my guns here.
How spicy should I? No, you know what? I have picks coming up, and I have to go with the Ravens.
Yeah, that's a smart choice.
I'm feeling good about the Ravens.
The Ravens will probably win unless they run into tragedy.
They should. It kind of a similar situation to the Bills. Like, you better, you better win. Um, all right, so AFC South. This is what a lot of their own fans refer to as Shit Mountain. So, who will be the king of Shit Mountain? We got the Texans, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans.
I think the Jaguars can do it this year. I know Houston Texans got some things going for them, but
Spicy
no.
take.
I mean,
like it. I like it,
literally
actually.
based on our last week's conversation, the Jaguars sound like a pretty solid, at least for the AFC South, sound like a pretty solid team.
You know what? I like it. They have their new head coach, an offensive-minded head coach. They've got Brian Thomas Jr., they've got Travis Hunter, they've got Trevor Lawrence with that head coach. Hopefully, he takes the next step. Their defense needs some work, but, maybe. When you get 2 wins off the Titans and the Colts, each, hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm going Texans, though. I believe in CJ Stroud. I believe that they're probably going to get 6 wins in their own division. And I like Nico Collins a lot. I like their defense a lot. That's what worries me for their week 1 matchup is Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson coming off the edge with a potentially hurt Matt Stafford. So I like the Texans. I'm going pretty chalk right now. I'm going Bills, Ravens, Texans for the AFC. So let's see if we get a little spicy with the AFC West.
I'm going to score so many more points than you. I'm calling it out.
See, all right, we get a little bit of that competitiveness. We've got the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Man, this is a tough one. I need a minute. I know you like the Chargers, but I'm really not feeling them.
I'm going
the Chiefs
Broncos.
Is where I might go. Yeah,
I'm going Broncos. Yeah. I'll go first on this one since you need some time. I'm going Broncos. I don't care for Sean Payton at all. However, I am a Bo Lever and Bo Nix. He looks good. Looks like the kid's got it. I like Cortland Sutton. He's a very underrated wide receiver. And then you just look at the defensive side of the ball, and it's fantastic. I'm a big Patrick Surtain fan, and he was actually the defensive player of the year last year. So send it. RJ Harvey, I like him as a rookie. I think the Chargers are going to charger in the end, and I already talked about how I feel about the Chiefs this year. Still going to be a good team, but yeah. All right. But what are your
I'm going to go... No, actually, with this one, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go Broncos because I really deeply want to say Raiders. Well, I want to say Raiders to be crazy, but I do want to maybe win this little competition because I got to win something in football.
What's in your heart?
No, Broncos. They just have that Madden energy. They just they feel like they're playing the video game right with their draft their team building. I mean,
all right, let's move on to the NFC. We started with the AFC East, so the NFC.
Done with the AFC already.
There's not that many divisions, man. It's nice. It's a very simple league, simple stuff. We have the Eagles, the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Giants.
Cowboys, easy peasy.
There's an argument to be made. Maybe,
I know the Commanders are looking hot this year, and the Eagles have, the Madden cover. But I'm going to go Cowboys because I've never not once betted on the Cowboys, much to my detriment. But I have to do it.
All right.
I talk shit on them, but I always support them. Even though they're like an abusive boyfriend. I keep crawling back.
It is funny to hear you say that when you have all these questions about the league's number one most important position, which is quarterback. You don't believe in Dakota Prescott, but yeah, you're still picking him to win the division. I respect it.
Yeah. Because the Cowboys fan base, they're pretty crazy. Dallas Stadium's pretty dope.
It is.
A lot of things to like about the Cowboys. It's America's team. You got to believe in America sometimes. There's not much left to believe in, man. I got to believe in the Cowboys.
Oof, oof, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, that hurt. That hurt to hear. Are you okay? Do we need to get you somebody? Uh,
I
I'm going
wish
to
football
Eagles.
was more. I wish football was just more like European club soccer, where there was just like way more teams. You know what I mean? Because
They
then it
have
gives
the
your team more of a shot.
from what I know about Ted Lasso, they have different leagues, right? And if you're terrible enough, you get kicked down to a worse league.
Yeah,
That would be very
that's
funny.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
'Cause
love that,
I mean, I would love the idea if it was like the Saints, the Browns, the
dude. No, yeah,
Titans, like if they were just in their own league and we didn't really have to spend too much time on them. Sorry to all those fans. There are some great
no, but
talking
we would
points and I'm
have
very interested in some things, but that structure is a little interesting.
way more fans to the NFL. First of all, second of all, you would have you could still give them the first draft pick. So if the Browns get kicked to the second division, they get the number one draft QB. You watch them do a run through the second division, give the first pick time to get good at NFL, pop into the first division. And I don't know, when you watch soccer for a long time, when you see a fourth division team climb up the ranks to Premier League or something, it's magical. NFL needs that magic. That needs a little magic dust in there.
Nah, it's got the magic dust.
I know. I just want more games. To be
Yeah.
real, that's the real reason.
Nah, it's such a brutal game. If they ever try to push for more than 18 games, I will not be on board. That would just
If you
be
had more divisions though, and you split up, and this division two is in a different time frame, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same players all the time.
yeah, okay.
It wouldn't be so
I can
cruel.
see
It
that.
would be nice. Hockey
All right.
does this too, sort of.
So anyways, your insane Cowboys pick.
Anyways,
I'm going to Eagles.
yes, yeah.
I have mentioned this before. I was raised a Giants fan. I don't think the Giants are I don't think it's their year. I do think they do get like 7 or 8 wins. I think they're a little bit underrated right now. Not by much. But it's gonna be the Eagles. It's frustratingly gonna be the Eagles.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be happy about it, but it's gonna be the Eagles. All right,
selling out.
NFC North.
You're selling out, Thor. Follow your heart.
I that the Eagles are my heart. That's what my heart's saying. It's the Eagles. Dude. My heart's saying, "Go Birds." Ooh, never mind. NFC North: Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears. Another good
Why do
division.
I want to? Yeah, I know. For some reason I want to say Packers. That feels wrong. I might go Bears,
You're going Bears.
but why not the
Bears.
Lions? Convince me.
That's
Talk me out of my choices.
well. If I were gonna say why not the Lions, there are some slight holes on defense. No, you know what? The reason is they've lost their offensive coordinator. They lost their defensive coordinator, who were both the top 2 picks for head coaches this year. So how much impact did they have? Because a lot of teams thought that they had a gigantic impact, like, for example, the Chicago Bears, who got the number 1 best head coaching option, who's Ben Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator for the Lions, who
Yeah, this is
was
why I'm thinking
credited with all
Bears.
these offensive, ingenious play structures. Aaron Glenn is with the New York Jets right now. And then Jared Goff. You don't trust him in the clutch. He has been good in the regular season. We saw it a little bit last year in the playoffs. I don't trust him, but I like their running game a lot. I like their offensive line a lot. I like their receivers a lot. I do like their defense as a whole overall as well. So
No,
it'll
I
just be
can't go with
interesting to
Goff.
see it without Aaron Glenn.
I can't go with Goff. Never have, never will. I'm going Bears. Calling it
Bears,
now.
spicy.
Yeah. No, this
Very
is a good one.
spicy.
I'm gonna try to watch their games when I can, just because out of curiosity. I want to
You
watch
should
this new quarterback.
you should trust your heart, Kevin. I'm going Packers.
Yeah, I almost said Packers.
Yes, you did. So the Packers have a receiver. Hopefully it solves their number 1 wide receiver issues that they've had. I like Josh Jacobs a lot. I like Jordan Love. He's been kind of up and down. I think with LaFleur and just having the entire year, 1 more year under his belt, I think he's ready to kind of take that next step. And they were right in the middle of it last year, anyways, in a division with a 14-win team and the 15-win team. So they were getting beat up all year, and they still won 11 games. Plus, they play in Lambeau. You don't want to play in Lambeau in January or December. That is arguably one of the best last remaining true home field advantages. They have a good defense. Like I said, they have a good head coach. So I'm going Packers. All right, NFC South. We've got the Bucks, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints. Both of the South divisions are kind of lacking, for lack of a better word. Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
Buccaneers are probably going to do it.
Yeah.
They're a solid team.
Yeah. I'm also going Bucks.
Yeah, kind of an easy one, I think. Saints, we were just talking about.
They should win. Buccaneers. So yeah, I mean, they have a good quarterback. They have Baker Mayfield, arguably the best quarterback in the division. They're the only arguments I could see is some people are Michael Penix believers or some people are Bryce Young believers. But again, there's no real sample size to base that off of. Baker's been proving it. I think he has that clutch gene in him. You have Mike Evans, who's going to go into the Hall of Fame at wide receiver. You have Chris Godwin, who's coming back from injury. But before his injury, he was on pace to have a career year. I think he comes back in similar form. They drafted Emeka Egbuka, who was my favorite receiver out of this draft class, out of Ohio State, which has been a wide receiver factory for the last few years. Then on the defensive side of the ball, they just maul people. They're able to get people. They're able to deal with those higher powered offenses. They have Vita Vea, who I love on the defensive front. He's a beast. You don't want to get tackled by that guy. And how did I even forget to mention Bucky Irving? Who's an exceptional young running back, one of my favorites in the league, actually. So Bucky.
Yeah, no, he's crazy. No, I mean, they're stacked, bro. It's an easy choice. NFC South is going to be one-sided for the Buccaneers. Easy pick.
All right. NFC West, Rams, Hawks, Cardinals, and Niners. Niners finished last season with a record of 6-11.
But I never really liked supporting the Niners, to be honest.
Why?
Honestly, I don't like any of this division except for the Rams. Rams are the only ones I care about. Maybe they're not the best this year, to be honest with you. They sound like they're on glass, but
glass
like
cannons.
glass cannons. Oh, jinx. That's how you know we both played D&D.
Hey, respect. Yeah, I'm going Rams too, but just to, give some credence to any maybe there is like some bias in there, obviously, because it's my team. If I was not picking the Rams and if Stafford is not himself, then I absolutely think there's a path for another team in the division. If I had to pick another team in the division, I would. It's tough. I don't really like the quarterback situations of the Hawks or Cardinals, and I think the 49ers aren't. I don't know. That's tough. Okay, so the arguments, I think, for the Hawks are the best, most well-rounded team. I can't even say it. Sam Darnold had 14 wins last season with the Vikings. That's great. Their coach seems like he has the it factor. That defense is coming together. If Sam Darnold plays as well as he did last year, I would easily pick them. What holds me back is I just think Sam Darnold is not going to win them those close games, especially with the defensive lines that he's going to be playing against, like the Rams, like even the Cardinals, especially the 49ers. The 49ers, if Christian McCaffrey is CMC, I could easily see them winning the division. Their defense is still stacked. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. And if they have CMC, that's a special weapon. But what holds me back on that is I just don't think that CMC is going to be the same type of player. And then the Cardinals, I do believe in Marvin Harrison Jr. If he starts to show who he truly is, then that would be one of the best receivers in the NFL. We have to see that, of course. But then you would have Kyler Murray, who can be special at times. They've had some excellent runs. They started a season 8-0 one time not too long ago. So, and they're a head coach as well as a defensive-minded head coach, and that defense has come together as well. So I guess if I was forced, I would pick the Seahawks to win the division. I'm going with the Rams, but if I didn't pick the Rams, I'd go with the Seahawks.
No, I mean, if it's not the Rams, it's gonna be it's gonna be the Niners probably.
Probably. I could easily see that. Easily see that. All right. So we have our division winners. You got some spicy takes in there. You got some spicy takes.
It's not that bad, man. It's
we're-
about to get a lot worse.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't account for wild cards, that's for sure. So who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Easy. Miami Dolphins. No, just kidding.
I prefer real though. Like, who do you have?
God, I would love to.
Actually, give me your Super Bowl matchup, your AFC team, your NFC team.
Oh, damn it, that's too hard. Well,
We
I'll
just
say
went through all
this.
the divisions.
I think there's an argument to be made, and if this does happen, I'm never going to live it down. I think the Bills are actually going to make it to the Super Bowl on the AFC
All right.
side.
That's very reasonable. Bills are a lot of people's picks.
And then for the NFC, really, the Bills? Wow. Here, I thought it was being original. But no, I mean, I see it. That's what I'm saying.
They're good.
This might be,
They're good.
I mean, OJ Simpson just died. That curse is now lifted. Maybe he's poltergeisting one of the coaches.
I mean, if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist, the Bills would probably have been in multiple Super Bowls at this point. So
yeah, right. They're insane. So yeah, I think they actually might make it this year, especially with the situation going on in the AFC. For NFC, I mean, as much as I would love to see the Cowboys or Raiders actually do it for, I won't say for once. The Rams have been there more recently, but I see them winning their division, but the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl National Football Conference. They're going to win the NFC and they're going to win the Super Bowl.
They're going back to back.
No, I'm just kidding. Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, but it is going to be Bills Eagles. Calling it now.
All right. I would watch that game. Bills, Eagles, W. I dig it. So the reason I wanted to get a little spicy with the AFC North, I was about to pick the Bengals, but I remembered who I do really think is going to win the Super Bowl, and I really think it's going to be the Ravens. I think it's the Ravens' year.
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. I'm picking the Ravens, and I want to pick the Rams. I really do. I think that'd be great. Yeah, but then it's just I tricked you. I was thinking the Rams, but no, it's my bias. I was thinking the Eagles, but it's too chalky. It's the Bucks. It's Ravens Bucks with the Ravens pulling the W.
Really?
Calling it now.
The Ravens part isn't crazy. The Buccaneers part is crazy to me. You buy into him too much, man.
No. I buy into him just enough. Super Bowl MVP Baker Mayfield manifested. That'd be a fun year. Ravens Bucks Super Bowl. That's a fun year. Bills Eagles would be fun too. I mean, Eagles fans would be Philadelphia. I don't know what they would do. There's not enough grease on Earth to grease those light poles. The city will burn either way. So. Did you know about the greasing light poles thing?
No, what are you talking about?
In preparation for the Eagles Super Bowl, they greased the light poles in downtown Philadelphia. Because either way, if they win, there's going to be a riot. If they lose, there's going to be a riot. And there was. No, it didn't work. People were still getting up on top of those light poles.
I watched the riots on Channel 5.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Give me a MVP.
So, question: does the MVP always have to be on the winning team of the Super Bowl?
No, so not Super Bowl MVP. I'm just talking about MVP of the entire season.
Ah, oh damn, that's too hard. Shedeur Sanders.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
No,
That'd be a spicy year. That'd be very
no.
spicy.
I'm gonna say the I'm forgetting. I'm always forgetting his name, but the Chicago Bears quarterback. I'm gonna say he's gonna
Caleb
have a really
Williams?
good.
You're saying
I'm
Caleb
gonna
Williams?
I'm saying Caleb
That
Williams is gonna blow up this
is
year.
spicy. Oh my gosh. I
He's
love
gonna
it.
blow up. If Dak Prescott can get good stats, anybody can do it.
Um, I love it. I love that take. If Dak can get good stats, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I almost said him.
Yeah, yeah, it's Joe. I don't wanna say I almost said Mahomes. It's been a few years since he's had like 50 touchdown seasons, but with Rashee Rice out, it's just I don't think it's gonna happen. Defensive player of the year. A defensive player. Where let's test your knowledge here.
Micah Parsons.
Wow. Respect. I take it. I mean, he could. He absolutely could be. Just have
Joe
to figure
Kicker of the year.
out the contract situation.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's gonna go crazy this year. That's why he's fighting with him.
All right, Micah Parsons. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go with all right, I've got do you want the homer pick or just the guy we've already talked about?
Sorry, what?
Homer pick or the pick where we've already talked about him in both episodes that we've had?
Whatever you want. The guy we talked about.
It's Kyle Hamilton. I'm picking Kyle Hamilton. He's gonna ball out. Ravens going to the Super Bowl. Kyle
Well, he
Hamilton
just
leading
got
that
paid
defense.
more than anybody in
He
history,
just got
so
paid, and he's
this
gonna
would be
show
the year to do it,
everybody.
bro.
He's gonna show everybody that he's worth it. Homer pick was Jared Verse.
No.
Hey, it could happen. Absolutely could happen. Jared Verse looks like a
What does this
beast.
mean?
Rookie of the year.
Got it.
ROY, the rookie of the year. I have the 2025 NFL draft first round up. We've talked about a lot of these people, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, the two-way player, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham's a defensive tackle for the Browns. He was the number 5 overall pick. Ashton Genty is a pretty chalky pick. Cam Ward is a pretty chalky pick. Travis Hunter. Let's see if you want to get a little bit spicier. You're looking
No.
at
Graham. He's gonna be rookie of the year.
so defensive rookie of the year, Mason Graham. Okay, defensive rookie of the
Oh,
year.
we gotta pick both. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. Because this is an issue with NFL awards. It really is. MVP, it's a quarterback award. It is. We could do an offensive player of the year as well. That's actually a very popular one that I didn't put in here. Offensive player of the year. Because essentially the offensive player of the year award has become non-QB MVP. So that's kind of the issue with it. Rookie of the year kind of falls into that same trap, not nearly as bad as MVP. But it's Cam Ward is most likely to be rookie of the year just because he is the quarterback. So if he has a decent year, he's gonna have he's probably gonna win rookie of the year, even if Ashton Genty has like an above average year. So Mason Graham, defensive tackle. You're going for a defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
All right. I'll put it on there. Let's pile it up. Kevin. Defensive rookie of the year since we're doing it. I think I'm gonna go with. I really liked Jadeveon coming out of Texas. That'd be fun. It could be Jihad Campbell just for the Eagles to just be so annoying if they just got a late round steal again, which it kind of looks like they did. Um, I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter would be too chalky. I don't see it
For
from his
offensive player of the
preseason.
year?
I'm looking at defensive player of the year. Um, I'm gonna go with Walter Nolan from the Cardinals. I think I liked him coming out of Ole Miss.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't really trust the Cardinals franchise, but I like Walter Nolan. And you know what? I'm gonna throw something a little spicy out there. So,
You got to give
all
me a
right.
handicap because I'm going to get whooped in in the points.
Hey, I mean, like I said, I could get every single one of these wrongs. That's the beauty of it. Let's jump back up to offensive player of the year. So basically non QB. Who do you think's gonna ball out?
That running back we've been talking about on the Raiders, that's like a crazy guy, Gene
Ashton Genty.
Genty.
So he's a
Yes.
rookie. I could absolutely see him being offensive player of the year too, if he is as good as everybody thinks he is.
I saw a bit of him and I was impressed like immediately. So I have a good feeling about him.
So I'm gonna do
And I haven't
rookie
really been talking about
for
running
Ashton
backs, and
Genty.
that's like, yeah. Um, and running back is my favorite position in football, and
I love running back. Love
we've
it.
hardly given them love. So yeah, I hope it's a running back year, but I know it's not really a thing right now. Besides the boot scoot, push tush tush push.
I'm gonna go with Omarion Hampton, also a running back. Um, I think he just has the best situation of any rookie. He's in the Harbaugh offense. He has a really good offensive line. They're going to run the ball to death. Omarion Hampton is a stud. All right, so let's jump up to offensive player of the year. So non QB MVP for the league. And then we're going to be done with awards.
I'll let you go first.
So
I
Jamar
already picked a
Chase.
non-QB
Yeah.
MVP.
So Jamar Chase won it last year. A lot of receivers are getting a lot of the pop. I'm gonna go with speaking of running backs, I'm gonna go with Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson from the Falcons. He is a special talent at running back, and if the Falcons are decent, it's going to be because their offense runs through Bijan Robinson. Other options, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you've got a bunch of people. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you've got Puka Nacua. I could keep going on and on.
I'm gonna go with
You-
Jaden Blue because his name, like we talked about last week.
My God.
Cowboys.
Okay, first of all, he's a rookie. You got to pick somebody else because he would win Rookie of the Year then.
It can't be a rookie.
It typically isn't unless they have
Shit.
just an insane.
All right, then I'm gonna go with
season.
Gibbs. That was my second choice.
There, Gibbs. Fair. I think this is a pretty par for the course. All right, cool. Caleb Williams is an insane pick. Now that I'm looking at everything,
I think it's a fine
I like
pick.
it though. I like it though. I think it's the right amount of spicy. Let's go, Caleb. Let's show him. All right.
If everything they were saying about last year was true in Chicago, then yeah, I think it's gonna be a breakout year.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and end it right there. I think it's great. Talked about the news, talked about our season predictions. Who doesn't love that right before the season starts? This will also be hysterical. As even just by like week 5, it's like, oh, I picked the Buccaneers and they are 0-6. My God. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch these predictions as the year goes on.
Yeah, well, next week I'm gonna put in some bets live and be like, all
Oh,
right, this is my
nice.
parlay. And if we're right, folks, we'll
Live
win
bets.
$50 million.
Oh my God.
Super parlays only. We have to get every single one right.
I'm sorry in advance. I'm sorry. I'll do my best.
That's fine. No. You can do like your real bets offline, and then we're gonna do the crazy $1 bet on live.
The Mega Parlay.
No, literally, you can do $1 parlay, folks. If you don't know this, and it's stupid to do this, but it's a lot of fun.
But it's a
You can
lottery.
literally,
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's a
Yeah,
lottery
it's
pick.
super fun, and I don't know. I enjoy doing them especially for football because I actually understand the sport, so it's like more interesting to do it. $1, you get every single game right. $2, you get every single game right. That's like $50,000 easily, depending on how you play against the odds.
The Gridiron Mega Parlay. Coming
Yeah,
next week.
yeah.
All right, let's do it. And then we have week 1 previews. Week 1 previews.
I'm
Football's
excited for that. Oh my god, I'm buying Madden right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm probably.
I looked
I'm
at
probably.
it real hard the other night and I said, no, remember what they did to you.
I need to make my own football game. I'll make it myself.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Can't be too hard. I'll just copy Madden 2016. It's like the same code, right?
Just copy it. Just copy it. What's the worst that could happen? Jail time?
No.
That's fine. It's fine. All right, cool. Well, like I said, look out for the Zaddy Sports Network, which is just going to be a news clip for my fantasy football league. Other than that, I do mashups and mixes on my channel. I am a DJ. So is Tiki Teka. Anything that you want to throw out there before we say goodbye?
I'm not much of a DJ. I just hang out with DJs.
Hey, that's cool.
We do have our own mobile game called Golden Hop Marble Race. If you're bored and like card games, check it out. It's free to play.
It is very
non-sponsored because I'm the owner, so it doesn't count.
It's our stuff, right?
Exactly. YouTube, if you're listening.
All right. Well, from Gridiron Thunder, my name is Thor. He's Kevin. Have a good week.
Later, y'all.